Hi, my name is Debbie from Full Potential, and I wanted to take you through a short general overall body strengthening and conditioning routine that you can happily do at home. And if you have any injuries, any areas of the body that are feeling a little bit sore, perhaps don't do today's class, get in touch instead and we can help and advise further. But work only to the limits that you can go to. Don't try and push too hard. Slowly try and progress over the coming weeks and months. So let's get going. We'll have a short warm up to start, and then we'll get into our class. So let's start with some shoulder rolls. Let's do 3 in each direction. Let's reverse it around, trying to get the shoulder blades touching at the back. And then let's put our hands to our shoulders, take those elbows in and around, just trying to warm up our upper body. Okay, let's go back the other way. 2. And 1 more, and then let's just continue just with long arms. Oops. And then back we go, other way. Okay, let's put our fingertips to our temples, keep our hips facing forward. Let's add a little bit of rotation. So we're twisting through the waist. Try and keep the hips facing forwards, and we're working through our spine. 1 more each side. And then keep our hands here, keep our hips still, and let's add a side bend. So we should feel a nice pull down the side of the body. This time, take the hips a bit wider, take that hand across to reach, just to increase that stretch just that little bit more. Good. Okay, let's come down to the floor, do a little bit of a mobility routine. So let's roll down, keep our tummy in. Let's roll down. When we get to the bottom here, just let the head hang and let the arms swing just for a few seconds. Keep the knees soft, don't lock out the legs. And then let's walk forward into a down dog, trying to get our heels down towards the floor. We'll feel our calf muscles just nicely warming up. And then let's walk this out into a high plank and just hold it here. Knees to the floor, sink our bottom back in the child's pose, and then arch round through the back, come forward, drop the hips, head up into cobra, back extension. Push back up into plank, back in our down dog, heels down, and then walk our hands back to our feet, and back up we come, roll up, back to standing. Let's just do 1 more. It's quite a nice way to just warm everything up. So roll back down. Walk out into down dog. Again, take those heels down to the floor, and then we can bend 1 knee in and then the other. Trying to get those heels to touch the floor, feeling the calf muscles doing a little bit of work. Hips are up in the air, 1 more per leg. And again, both heels down. Again, take this into high plank, just hold it here. And then hips, knees to the floor, hips back towards the heels. Round through into back extension, push back up to plank, back up in our down dog, and then again walk our hands back to our feet, and then we'll roll back up to standing. Good. So hopefully we should feel a little bit warmer. Let's just get into a little bit more harder work. So let's think about warming up our calves still. We can hold on to a wall just for some balance, and let's do some heel raises. So we're going to start with both feet on the floor together, just rocking backwards and forwards, and then let's take our right foot off and let's go up and down. So single leg raises. So I'm going to do 10 of everything today. If you want to increase the number of reps, absolutely please do. Ideally looking to get towards 15 to 25 ultimately over the coming weeks per leg, and then looking to do 2 and then 3 sets. So let's do 1 more and then let's swap legs. So we're trying to go all the way up onto our toes and control on the way down. So this is 5. Good, let's do 4 more and then we'll get into our squats. But having strong calf muscles This helps to work through the feet, the tendon in the leg. Good. All really essential for good running. Okay, so let's get into some squats. We're going to do 10 of a center squat, and we're going to go wide, back into the center and wide. In our center squat, our toes are facing forwards. In our wider squat, they're perhaps at that 5 to 1 or 10 to 2 position on the clock. We're just going to go side to side. Okay, so let's get to work. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. So down we go, center squat, and then wide. Back into the center, and then wide again. So we're just going to keep repeating side to side. So in this wider squat, 10 to 2 with the feet, back into the center, 12 o'clock. Let's keep going. So in this center squat, we're perhaps going to feel our quads a little bit more. In that wider squat, perhaps we're going to feel our bottom, our glutes a little bit more. When we're in our squat, we want our chest up. We're looking forward. We're not looking down to the floor. We want the weight in our heels towards the back of our body, so we're not coming over our toes. Okay, that's the last one. Each side. And then finish in the center. And up we go. Okay, so let's see. We will come into some curtsy squats. So again, we're going to go side to side, alternating. So this is when we're going to take our foot behind us. So we're going to try and see if we can tap the floor. We want that, we don't want this front knee coming over. So we want sort of 90-degree angle here as we go side to side. That's our movement. So again, 5 on each side. Let's go 3, 2, and 1. So you can have your hands here as if you were running, or you can have your hands to your head. Just work that a little bit harder. Trying to get that back knee towards tapping the floor. We're working off this front leg each time and using our bottom to push ourselves back up to standing. Good. 1 more each side. And then we're done. Good. Okay, our next exercise, our split squats, is when our feet aren't going to move, and we definitely want that 90-degree angle front and back. Again, we don't want that knee coming forward. We might just hurt our knee. So we're going to do 10 on each leg. So our feet don't move. Let's go. 3, 2, and 1. We're trying to push through this front leg. We might feel our hip flexor here doing a little bit of work, which is great. Trying to get that 90-degree angle as we push up. Drive it up. 5 more. So nice, tight tummy. Pull in your tummy. 2, and our last one. And 1. And then let's swap legs. Off we go to our other side. Let's go down and tap. If your back knee isn't tapping the floor, don't worry. The more you do, the better you'll get. We want to drive off this front leg. Push through that foot through the floor. Keep your tummy tight. Looking forwards, not looking down towards the floor. Good. 3 more. 2, and then our last one. Good, and then have a quick rest. Okay, let me check what's coming next. Okay, let's give our little quads a little bit of a rest, and let's work for our hamstrings. So again, we're going to have our hands to our head, and we're going to fold and hinge forwards, sticking our bottom back, keeping our back nice and straight, tummy tight. We want to feel the work at the back of the legs, perhaps the top of the hamstrings as they go into the glutes. So this is the kind of area that we're trying to work. So let's go. Keep our tummy tight. We're going to hinge at the hips. We're not going to squat, but our knees are soft. They're not locked out. So from the side, let's give it a go. 3, 2, 1 for 10. So fold and squeeze your bum as you drive yourself Back up to standing, keep that back nice and straight. And the more we stick our bottom behind us, the more we should start to feel this pull with the back of the legs. Okay, I think this is 5. So we're going to do 5 more. So fold, keep the knees soft. Good. I'm hinging at the hips. 3, 2 more. 2. And then 1. Excellent. Good. Okay. And then our last exercise standing is going to be our little arabesques, little deadlifts. You might know them with different names. You can definitely hold on if you don't have good balance. But our movement is taking one leg behind us. And again, we should be working all these areas of the body, keep our tummy tight. So you can hold on to start. Once you get your balance, take your hand off, and you can also add some weights if you want. But let's go and do 10 on each side. So we want to come down and then come back up, folding again, hinging at the hips. The standing leg is bent slightly. We don't want to lock it out. And again, we should start to feel the work at the back of the legs. That's 4 and 5. So, like I say, once you get into the swing of things, once you get a bit stronger, you can take your hands off. You can take both hands down, whoops, to the floor. You can take them out in front of you. Whoops. So let's do 3 more on this leg. 1, 2, and 3. Good. Perfect. Same thing. Other leg. Off we go. 1. Keep this leg soft. Don't lock it out. We don't want to lock this leg. We want to keep it soft, slightly bent. 4 and 5 more to go. Keep that tummy tight. And we should start to feel the work again, like I say, at least in the hamstrings, in the glutes. Good. 2 more. 1. And our last 1 and 2. Good. And rest. Okay, and then our final one for the legs and the glutes, we're going to come down to the floor and do a little bridge. So let's lie on the floor. We want our heels quite close to the bottom. And we want the head, neck, shoulders relaxed on the floor. Nose is pointing up to the ceiling. Our feet are perhaps hip width apart, and our toes are at 12 o'clock in that 12 o'clock position. So we're going to tilt the pelvis, squeeze the bottom and push the hips up. Squeeze the bottom and push the heels, the big toes into the floor, and then place the back down on the floor. So let's go. Squeeze, tilt, drive the hips up, and then place the back down onto the floor. Squeeze the bottom again. So we want to concentrate on that squeeze of the glutes. It's a slow, controlled, considered exercise. And we want to push the heels and the big toes into the floor. So we should start to feel our bottom, the backs of our legs doing some work. So that's 5. Let's do 5 more. If you want to work a little bit harder, you can have your hands up in the air. But each time, concentrate on that squeeze of the bottom, the push through the heels and the big toes. Squeeze up. Good. 2 more. Good. And our last one. Up we go. And rest. Okay, so there's a couple of exercises there. We've just done 10 repetitions today. You can, of course, increase to 12 or 15, and you can add in some progressions. You can do the set 2 or 3 times if you have the time, which would be fantastic. But today we just wanted to keep it short and sweet and keep it a manageable thing that you could do the whole way through. So let's go down to do our ab work, something work for the tummy. Then we've got a little bit of work for the hips, and then we're done. So I think planks are fantastic exercises. They are great for stability, for mobility, for your general body strength. They work the tummy a lot, so you have to work hard. Today I thought we'd start and finish our little ab section with a plank at each end, just for a minute. You can increase, of course, the duration of the planks, add in movements. First one, we're just going to hold a high plank and then a low plank. Later in the class, we're going to do a little bit of movement. So let's see how we go. Let's start. We're going to go into our plank 30 seconds high, 30 seconds low. We're going to try not to put our knees on the floor when we swap from one to the other. So let's go in 3, 2, and 1. So push up into that high plank position. So we want to be looking at the floor in that space between the thumbs. Our shoulders should be over our wrists. We want to pull up the tummy, squeeze the bottom, and push the heels away. We want that nice straight line through the body. We're not sinking, we're not letting the hips sink, keeping that nice tension. You should feel your tummy, your shoulders, your chest doing some work. So let's go down into our low plank. Let's go 3, 2, and 1. So down we go. And again, we're just going to hold it this time around. Same thing, we're looking at our hands. We're not going to look at our feet. Push the heels away, strong through the shoulders. Pull up the tummy, and we've only just got about 10 seconds to go and we're done. If you need to stop, of course, just do put your knees to the floor and then push back up. But we're going to finish. You'll be happy to know. We'll finish in 3, 2, and 1. Great, okay, so let's come and do a little bit of specific tummy work. We'll start, let's lie on the floor. We can put our hands under our bottom if you want to start in this position. It's quite helpful for the back. We don't want the back to take over these tummy exercises. So our hands are under our bottom to support our back. Let's put our hands up our legs up in the air. And again, we're going to do a set of 10 repetitions. So we're going to take one leg down towards the floor to hover and then come back. Then take our left leg down. So we're just going to repeat these little leg lowers. We want to think about pushing our back into the floor and pull down on the tummy. We don't want the back to arch. Then the back is taking over the exercise. Nice and slow and controlled. Nose is pointing up to the ceiling. And we should start to feel the tummy doing some work. So that's 5, we're halfway through. Let's do 5 more. So lower those legs, nice and controlled. Push the back into the mat. Pull down on the tummy. So we've got 3 to go. If you want to progress it, you can have your head in your hands. So you're going to look down through the gap between your legs, and we'll just start to work just that little bit harder. Good. Nice in and out breaths. Let's do one final one. Good. Lovely. Have a quick rest. And then we're going to go back, do the same thing, but we're going to do both legs together. So again, we can start with our hands under our back. We're going to take both legs down towards the floor and back up again. We don't want that back arching. Only go down as low as you feel comfortable. Don't push it. Don't let your back take over. That's 3. And try and keep those legs as straight as we can. 4. Again, we can take our head in our hands and look down towards the bottom of the mat, look down towards our feet, just to work a little bit harder. Let's do 4 more. There we go. 1, 2, good. Well done. Keep working hard. 3, good. 4, and 5. Good. Again, have another little rest. See how that feels. We will move on to some crunches. So this time we definitely want to have our head in our hands. We are going to support our head, interlace your fingers, support your head and your neck so that we don't feel any any pain there. So our head's in our hands. We're looking down, again, downwards, down towards the feet. We're going to keep our legs in this tabletop position. So we want this nice 90-degree angle here for the legs. Head starts on the floor. And then we're just going to crunch up and breathe out. And then come back to the floor. So let's go. Crunch up and breathe out. Crunch up and breathe out. Good. Keeping these legs here just makes us work, again, slightly harder. You can have your feet to the floor. And this is 5. So nice, slow and controlled. Trying to get our shoulders up off the floor. And we should feel the tummy working hard as we crunch. Good, 2 to go. Again, push your back into the mat, pull down on the tummy. And last one. Good, and rest. Okay, a quick rest, and then 3 things to go. So we're going to go into our little cycles, our little crisscross. Again, we want that same position with our head supported by our hands. And we are going to take an opposite elbow and knee to tap. And then we're going to swap to the other side. So that's our movement. We're going to do it quite slow. So we just work that a little bit harder. So when we're ready, let's go. 3, 2, and 1. So we're going to crunch and try and get that elbow and knee touching. Push the back into the mat, into the floor. That's 3. And 4, good. Breathe out as that elbow and knee coming into touch. So we've got 5 more. 1. Good. 2. So we hopefully will feel the tummy doing some work. That's what we want. Let's work hard. 3, 2 to go. Good. And our last one. And rest. Excellent. Good. Bring your knees into your chest. Helps just to ease off those tummy muscles. And then our last one, we're just going to do a little reverse crunch, just to work a different area of our tummy. And then we're going to finish off again with another plank. So let's go. We're going to, again, have our head in our hands. Our head's up off the floor, but we're not going to move our head. We're not going to move our elbows, but we are going to move our feet. So let's start with our feet on the floor. And then we're going to try and bring our knees in towards the elbows, trying to get your bottom up off the floor. Try not to use too much momentum where you're just swinging, but trying more to use our tummy to help us complete the exercise. So again, let's go. Head is nicely supported. And as the knees come in, we want to breathe out. So let's go in, get the bottom up, tap the feet to the floor, bring those knees in. Try not to bring the head or the elbows in. Try and make the knees come in, and we'll use a different part of our tummy muscle. So that's 5. Get that bottom up under control. Good. This is 8, 9, and last one, 10. Good. Okay, our final plank, and then we're done with our tummy exercises. So we're going to again do another 1-minute plank, but this time we're going to add in some movement. So we're going to add in a knee tap to the floor in a high position, in a high plank, and then in a low plank. So let me get my clock and let's go. So we'll start in that high plank. Let's go in 3, 2, and 1. So in that high plank, trying to keep our top of our half of our body still. We're just going to try and take a knee to tap the floor. So again, looking through at the gap between our thumbs. And each time one knee taps and then the other. If you want to work a bit harder, you can take both knees together. So we've got 5 seconds. We're going to go down to a low plank and do the same thing. Let's go down without putting our knees on the floor. 2 and 1, down we go. Same thing, one knee taps and then the other. Trying to keep our body still, trying not to move through the hips when we tap a knee to the floor. And again, if you want to work harder, you can take both knees together. We've got 10 seconds to go and then we're done. So let's keep it strong all the way through, and we're finishing in 3, 2 and 1. Good, okay, that's the tummy work done. Again, do a second set if you have the time. And then let's just finish off, before we have a quick cool down, just a little bit of work for our hips. So we're going to lie on one side. We are going to have our knees bent. We can have our head in our hands. So knees are bent, feet are sort of in line with your bottom behind you. Feet stay glued together. And let's go with our little clam raises. So we want to open up the knees. So I want to feel like we're opening up the hips, but we're also going to work this nice glute area here as well. So open each time. 7, let's do 3 more. Good. 2 and 3. Perfect. Raise up the feet. I'm going to do exactly the same thing, just adding a little bit of height. So we want to open out those hips. Keep those feet glued together. 5 more. And we should start to feel a little bit of work on this outside edge of our legs. 4, let's do 1 more. And 5, good. Put the feet to the floor, exactly the same idea. Opening up the hips, we're going to tap the knee on the floor in front of the knee, and then open up and tap the floor behind that foot. So it's a nice big swoop to open up again to your hips. Make this whole area of the body do a little bit of work. Pretty important when we're running and putting a lot of work through our glutes and our legs. So let's do 5 more. Try not to let too much more of the body move. It's just this hip, this leg doing the movement. Okay, 3. Good. And last 1. And 5. Good. Then straighten that leg. You can keep that bottom leg bent, adds a little bit of extra stability. Toes are facing forwards. And we're just going to do some leg raises. It doesn't really, you don't have to worry about going too high, but we want that straight line down the body. We want to start to feel some work here as this exercise layers on. So let's do 5 more. So we're leading with the outside edge, the heel, not pointing the toes. 4, next time, stay up, a little pulse. Good. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold this leg here, just do a couple of circles. Let's do 5 in each direction, so 1 more, and then reverse it back. Keep that leg high. You should start to feel the work in our legs. 4, good, and 5. And then our last one, we're going to bring that knee in and take the leg back behind us, just to ease everything off, get a bit of mobility through our hips. So to keep the knee, keep the leg at hip height, don't let it lower too much. 1 more. And then we're done. We'll do this same set on our other side. So just roll over and off we go. And then we're almost done. So again, bend the knees, feet stay glued together. Let's go and open up. So it's quite nice to see when you do this set, if your hips feel equal. If one hip might feel tighter than the other, then you know you perhaps need to work a little bit harder on that side. 2 more. And 2, good. Raise up the feet, off we go again. Okay, that's 5, we've got 5 to go. And then we'll do our little swoop knee tap, toe tap, 4 and 5. Down to the floor with the feet, and off we go with our swoop. Knee taps the floor in front of that knee. The foot taps the floor behind the foot. Try and open up the hip. Get some mobility. 5 to go. 2. Good. 4 and last 1. And 5. Straighten that leg. Off we go with our leg raises. So we want the toes facing forwards. We want to have a nice straight leg. Starting to feel the work on the outside edge. Lead with the heel. Lead with the outside edge. Let's do 5 more. 4. Good. 2. Next time, stay up and a little pulse. Little, small pulse. Good. Keep it going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the leg here and let's do our 5 circles in each direction. 3. Good. And then back we go. 4 and 5. And then final thing, bring that knee in and take it back. Good. 3 to go and then we're done. Quick cool down. And we're done with the hard work for today. Last one. Coming up. Good. And rest. Excellent. Again, you can do that whole set a second time. Add in some different movements, of course. But hopefully this whole set of legs, tummy, a little bit of hip work, it's just enough to keep you moving and starting to build some good general core strength. So let's have a quick cool down and then we're done. So we'll start on our back. Let's bring our both knees into chest. Have a little rock, nice for the lower back. Let's take our left leg straight, our right knee, let's take it across over the body, trying to keep our shoulders on the floor, trying to take this leg that comes across to the other side, trying to guide it down towards the floor. We should feel a nice twist through the lower back. Again, only go to the distance that feels comfortable with that leg. And then just hold it here just for a couple of seconds. This sort of stretch you could hold actually for 20 or 30 seconds very happily, and repeat 2 or 3 times. Let's come back to the center and then let's swap legs. So right leg goes straight, left leg goes across, shoulders are on the floor, and then you can take your other arm out to the side and look towards that arm as you try and coax this leg across and down to the floor. Good, let's just hold it for a couple more seconds. And then let's come up to sitting. Let's take this knee, this one leg, this across. Hug this knee across to our opposite shoulder. Keep our back straight. So we're not going to round through or slump. Keep the back straight as we pull that leg across, that knee across. So we should hopefully feel a little bit of pull, a bit of a pull in our bottom and our glutes, which is great. So let's swap over. Over we go. Again, pull that knee across towards the opposite shoulder. Nice straight back. Tummy in. Good. Okay, let's get to our feet. Do a little quick stretch for our quads. Take our foot in our hands, knees together. If anything, it'll be slightly behind the other leg and slightly tilt the pelvis forward, and we'll feel a nice stretch in this quad muscle. And then let's take that foot across and sink down. And we can push this knee away. And again, we should feel a nice stretch through the glutes, through the hips. And then let's go to our other side. Bring those knees together. Tilt the pelvis slightly. And then take that foot across that other knee, sink down, push that knee away. There's 1,000 more stretches you can do, but this is probably enough for today. Just a little circle round. And there we are, we're done. So I hope you enjoy it. And I'll be back again with some more exercises in another installment. Take care.